Hi and welcome to Guftagu. And this year, Guftagu wants to come out with a topic on Plan B. What is Plan B? It is about learning to handle failure. Because many a times in life, we are unable to cope, we are unable to handle it. And the number of cases that we are seeing with children not being able to handle failure. And that is why we decided to open Guftagu with the burning topic of why are children taking their own life. So welcome to Guftagu, and we are live today with our special guest. Who are going to take us on this journey to understand why are we losing young lives today. Are the parents to be blamed, or is it the coaching classes, or is it that we as a society are putting too much of pressure on our children? So warm welcome to my lovely guest, Swapna Dikshit, who runs a coaching class, and she has turning our students getting into the industry. We have Sunita Advani, Dr. Sunita, who works on a helpline and helping students who are in that brink when they're going, they do not know how to handle it. They give her a call and she's handling cases on a day-to-day basis. Kashmira Sangha is a parents coach, she's a mother also, and she's also a career counselor. So warm welcome. My first question is to Sunita. Sunita, what are the numbers? Because we keep hearing every time we open the paper and we hear cases of people, youngsters who have taken their life. Uh, I want people to know what is the number like.
Yeah, hi Sandhya. Thank you for having me over. And yes, so it's a very pertinent question, a very hot topic, something that people would not like to hear, but we have to face it. So with a heavy heart, I would like to tell you the numbers. So the NCRB, the National Crime Records Bureau, they had reported that in 2021, there were 13,000 deaths by suicide among students alone. So this is a very alarming number. And this is it is going on increasing because the last in 2016, compared to 2016 and 2021, the number has risen by 27%, which is very, very high. So if you want to make it in simple words, you can take it as more than 35 students every day we are losing to suicide. So this is very high.
That's really scary because looking at the numbers, which means that we are having more than one child going every month. If you look at 30,000 a year, which means there's more than one child going. And that's the kind of pressure that is what's scary about opening the paper today, especially when the results are out, when you see ICSE results out, you see CBSE results out, but when you even see the NEET and the GE exam results. And this is happening, I think there is a lot of pressure from parents and coaching classes. So I would go to the coaching classes because we keep hearing in these coaching cities. When I say coaching cities, I'm not going to name them, but we know which are the coaching cities which is coming in the paper day in and out. So as a coach, ma'am, how do you handle the situation?
Should I answer, Sandhya?
Yes, please.
Yeah.
Yes, Swapna, please, that goes for you.
Yeah, I agree. Coaching classes, they put a lot of pressure on children, especially when they give the admission to students. That time only they put, without knowing, without understanding child's capability, they put every child into JE coaching. And even if they know that this child is best suited for CET exam, but they want to put that child into JE coaching because everything revolves around money, financial fees for them. So it has become a money making business, because if the child takes admission for JE, then there will be minimum 5 to 6 lakhs fees. And if the child is taking admission for CET, it will be around 3 to 4 lakhs or 2 to 3 lakhs. So everything is around the financial, it's money aspect they see. And that is why the children face problem and it creates a pressure. Second thing is that they take continuous evaluating tests. That is, after 2-3 months, they take their evaluation tests. And depending upon the child's performance, they put them into different batches. There are different batches, 7, 8, 10 batches. First 2 batches are always for the brighter and intelligent students, and rest of the batches, they divide the children according to their performance. So every 2-3 months, the children have that pressure to remain, to go into the best batch and to remain with their friends. So this is a adding thing. It adds a stress onto the children, that when they are not with their friends, they feel that we are missing out on something, and my friends are not there with me in the same batch. The third thing is that these coaching classes, they don't give a single day break time for the children. No
Absolutely.
outings, no vacations, no attending social gatherings, nothing. Not even the weekends also they get to enjoy, or they get relaxation time. So that is the biggest thing, that for 2 years rigorously they have to work hard for this. And not a single coaching class they tell that yeah, it's okay whatever you score, and if you don't perform well, or if you don't get into IIT, you are going to become engineer. That is not their motive. They are behind the numbers, and they want the children to run after that IIT tag rather than becoming a good engineer. So this is the problem for children when they face the failures and they are under continuous stress.
Correct. I completely agree with you. In fact, we understand that parents put a lot of pressure on children. And there's always a comparison of the kind of, how come your friend can do it? How come you can't do it? उसको देखो IIT में मिल गया, तुम क्या करोगे? तुमसे तो कुछ होगा ही नहीं. Even it's not just, I think, with friends, it's also among siblings that we do a lot of,
Yes.
that your elder
Yes.
brother, there was a case where both brothers got into IIT and the daughter couldn't do. And finally, she was so stressed out that she took the leap and she killed herself. That's sad because there was so much of pressure from the child. The child was put under so much of pressure because both her brothers got into IIT and she tried 2 times and she failed. But they didn't give her an option that she could do something else.
Correct.
And that is where I feel sorry, and I feel that parents play a very, very important role.
Important role.
Kashmira, as a mother, as a career coach, you must be seeing parents who want their children to go into engineering. How, and as a parent, you shared your experience. I think you should share your experience because it comes firsthand as a career coach. What was your experience? Because you had two children, and I remember telling both the results were totally dynamically opposite. But how did you handle that? If you can share, it would be lovely to hear your side of the story.
So hello everyone, first of all. And talking about results, my elder son, he scored 93 in his 10 boards, and my daughter, she scored 60%. So because my daughter, she was facing through challenges in her, in her schooling period, because she was bullied by different set of children. So she was frustrated. She had anger issues also, but and in that period she was her mental health was also affecting. So I just told her that no matter you fail, I just want you to appear for exams. I just wanted her coping mechanism to increase. That's all.
Yeah.
Being a career coach, it would have, I didn't told that, I guide so many thousands of students. So I want you also to become, like an 80 above or 90 above because your brother scored. But that is not the environment we should give to our children. And when my daughter scored 60%, I was supremely happy. And my son told my daughter, "Okay, Mama is more happier to see your results rather than me." I said,
Wow.
I understand the situation. We first need to make the child comfortable that no matter you
Exactly.
fail, I am there to support you.
Exactly. I think many a times we lose the crux that our child's lives are more important than the percentage that they're going to get. I think even if they're not ready to give their exam, it's okay not to give it. It's all right to just say, okay, I don't want to do it. I'll flunk the exam and I'll do it again, redo it when you're in a better state of mind. So I think, Kashmira well said that you are a career coach and you tell people what careers to choose. My next question is that, when we're talking about coaching, how important it is to understand your caliber uh, and whether you're in the right field or not. Swapna, I think you're best person to handle this because you may be having parents who are coming saying that नहीं मेरा बेटे को engineering में जाना ही है. My child has to get into medicine, whether the child has the capability or not. So as a coaching institute, how important it is important for them to understand whether the child has the capacity to do this or not, And how is it, how do you convince parents about it? Swapna.
Yeah, parents mostly they judge their child's performance depending upon the 10 standard ka performance. They think that my child has scored 90% up, 92, 94, and now he can easily get through JEE, NEET, or all other competitive exams. But see, Sandhya, I must tell you, this board preparation and competitive exam preparation, these two things are totally different. There is a
Absolutely.
different style of preparation in for boards, because it's a totally a descriptive question paper. From first standard to 10th standard, child is used to prepare for that type of question answers. But in the case of competitive exams, it will be focusing on speed, accuracy, and how to deal with negative marking. So the totally style is different. So that it becomes difficult for the parents to understand कि ये होने के लिए it will take time. First, the child will take time to settle down in that new pattern, and then he will be able to focus. That is the first exposure to the child out of the school premises, that he is going to coaching classes, he is going to
Absolutely.
college. It will take time for him to get adjusted to new environment. But parents are always in a hurry. They want performance, they want success. They always
Absolutely.
try to compare it with their फ्रेंड्स एंड रिलेटिव्स, उसके बच्चे ने किया फिर तुम क्यों नहीं कर
सही
सकते
बात
हो,
है.
आई एम पेइंग सो मच
Absolutely.
ऑफ फीस. So this is also a lot of pressure. It creates a lot of pressure on the children. See, about the money, since they have paid 5 to 7 lakhs, they expect the performance right from the first day of the class, right from the first test.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
But this
Absolutely.
is a roller coaster ride, I must tell you. All 2 years, your performance in, maybe it is in physics, it is in chemistry, it is in maths, it is not going to be constant. Sometimes
Absolutely.
the child may score good in physics, or sometimes in maths, sometimes in chemistry. It goes on and on till 2 full years. And that
Absolutely.
becomes difficult for the parents to accept this fact, that since we have spent so much, the child has to perform, and kuch bhi ho jaye, you have to do it. So
Correct.
this
Absolutely.
is
I completely agree with what you're saying. In fact, parents put so much of pressure that not only parents, I think it's society in general.
society,
In
yes.
general, our society says that boys should do engineering. You should do the good career is, oh, तुम science arts कर रही हो. Oh, मतलब
Yes.
अच्छे अच्छे number नहीं आया होगा. Or
Correct.
maybe can't cope up. And one has to realize that as like when you say coaching classes is where the top of the cream of the country is coming in. And the top of the cream of the country is also getting into an IIT. So I met a couple of children. I talked to some kids. And they're like, even in IIT, our parents want us to come in the first two. But you got to realize as parents that when your child is in IIT or in medical, your child is the top of the cream which is there. So if they come even the last in their class, they're still the top of the cream, right? Kashmira, as a parent, how do you handle that? How do you handle parents and how do you tell them? You do a post consultancy also after the child has got into a career. It's only like tell them and then leave them. Right? How does it work for you?
No, no, no. It is a hand-holding process because if the child has, entered into, triple IT or top of the good colleges, but after that, what kind of, other certification programs also he needs to. That also are being guided. And this career counseling is not on one time go. Because if it is a
Okay.
handholding, many times as you told that cream of the crowd is there in IIT, but the parents want to stick to you have to be toppers. This is,
Correct.
see, why does this happen? The pressurization or the coping when we are not able to match with the abilities with other children, the speed of with other children. If my brain is not processing at much higher speed, then definitely should take a pause and think of plan B also.
Yes.
Okay.
Uh,
So because of interest, distractions, and all that, there are chances that one can get into other modes.
Correct. So it's okay to have a plan B. That is what our
Definitely.
whole talk is about. And even
Definitely.
if a child is not coming in the top five in IIT, doesn't mean the child is not smart because he's got into IIT. That means he's smart. So I think IIT and all of that and the kind of learning. So you could have tuition classes and you could have G, but once you get into IIT, there's not going to be any tuition classes for you there, and that's where you're going to start learning on your own. Sunita, how do you deal with students who, or do you get students from any of these colleges? And how do you deal with them when they tell you that, listen, I can't cope up with this? What are the kind of students you get? That'd be nice if you could share that with us.
Yeah, so let me tell you about our experiences as a volunteer with the helpline. Because we get a number of calls where students say that they're feeling suicidal because they're not able to cope up, because they don't want to do a particular stream and their parents are forcing them, or they did not study and the exams are around the corner. Yeah, result aa gaya hai and we have failed. How do we face our parents? So there are many different types of questions that they come out with, many different issues, and they are worried about it, they're stressed about it. So what we do is, it's not only about our helpline. In fact, all the suicide prevention helplines all around the world, what we do is we follow a few basic principles which we are trained on. So what are these basic principles? One is showing them an empathetic listening space, giving them an empathetic listening space where we do not judge them. They are free to share whatever they want, whatever, however their year has been, they have wasted time, they have, got into drugs, addictions, whatever they say. We do not judge them. So therefore, they are able to open up and share whatever other issues. Secondly, it is a non-advisory listening space because they are getting advices right, left, and center right from the first year of their 10th standard or the 12th standard. So उनको advice नहीं चाहिए. They just want somebody to listen to them, to understand their feelings. So what we do is we give them a non-advisory and a non-judgmental and a confidential listening space. So when they are very confident that this is a safe listening space, we can share your whatever we want. So it's like, you can imagine it's a heavy load on their heart, something that they want to share, something that they are not able to tell their family members. So the moment they open up and they share it out with us, so immediately it frees a lot of mental energy for them. A lot of mental space gets freed up, and then they are having access to the higher cortical centers in their brain. So
Wow.
what happens? The intensity of the emotions comes down, and
Yeah.
therefore they are able to get into all problem solving, thinking of other options. So this is where they can think of plan B and all. So
Yeah.
basically, what we do is we just listen to them from our heart. We open our hearts to their sufferings, and that makes all the difference.
So I think what you're also trying to say is that the parents need to listen to their children. They need to
Exactly.
know when they are going through a turmoil. They need to understand the voice changes. They need to understand the behavioral changes. They need to understand the child better. And what are the place that you can learn all of this is on the parenting, yeah. And that is why we bring the carnival of hope, because we want to keep the hope alive. We want parents to understand your child. You may feel that I don't need a coach, I don't need a counselor. It's very difficult to convince people that there is someone as a parental coach. ये होता है क्या parental coach? मतलब तुम लोग करते क्या हो? I don't need someone to tell me what to do as a parent because I know what I'm doing is right. But are you listening? Are you paying attention to your child? And children don't have a safe space to go and listen and share their thought process. And I think schools also need to teach children how to handle their emotions, right? If I'm right, then I think we also have a program called Enlighten, which is happening on the parenting right now, which is basically programs for teenagers and teaching them how to handle different situations and life skills and their whole other program. We also have Udan, which is about careers because we're trying to choose a career. You don't know what's there in this career. There are people who are coming and sharing that. That's very important. And that's what the parenting is all about. My next question is to Swapna. We all talk about, how to go about doing things. But very important is what is the way forward? What do I do when I fail? I have given the NEET exam, but I have not cleared. I have not gotten to NEET. I have not gotten to any medical college, or I've not got into the medical college that I want. I've not gotten to the college which my friend has gotten. How do you handle plan B of failure? Because handling success is good because I've got it. When we have our numbers and yes, I've come to this college, I've gotten here. How does one handle failure? That is what we're talking today.
Yeah.
Swapna.
Yeah. See, basically, plan B is keeping your backup plan ready when your original plan fails. That means it's a contingency plan when original plan doesn't work as per your expectations.
Exactly.
So this is plan B. In our daily life also, when we are going for outing, vacations, we keep some plan B ready. Or when we are
Yeah.
organizing any seminar, any function, any event, we keep some plan B ready. You take the example when we are going out for vacations or for outing and our phone is not fully charged. It is showing low battery, then we know that all the airports and railway stations and malls and everywhere there will be plug points, and we carry our charger with us. But still we have power backup. Everybody carries that power backup with us, and it is convenient for us to connect our mobile phone to power backup and then we charge it,
Absolutely.
knowing that. So when we are in daily life, we are using this power backups as a plan B in our vacation plan or something. Why can't this plan B should come into action when we are deciding the career path for our child? And for in career, it is all the more important, because when your goals are, you are not able to meet your expectations, or you cannot meet your goals, you should come up with different action plan which can stay you focused on the desired output. So this is very important. So for NEET, take the example of engineering or NEET. If we say engineering, that is PCM, then if the child is not able to do engineering, there are many options. Kashmira will guide us regarding that more. But there are many options. If the child is good, he can take good in drawing, he can take architecture. If he is good in maths, he can take statistics. The same is the case with NEET also, that if medical plan is not working, there are many options like biotechnology, biomedical, research work. So many options are there. But first, parent need to understand this plan B is very important. We should tell them why we have, and it should, according to me, before taking admission to coaching classes, only this plan B should be kept ready. And equal importance has to be given to this plan B. It should align with your plan A. Yes.
Plan A and plan B. So the thing is, I think when we're talking about a plan A, a plan B, a plan C, plan D, lifetime change. When I started my career, a simple thing like me, okay, today I spoke to my teacher after connecting with her after 40 years. And she asked me, Sandhya, what do you do, my chatterbox? That's what she called me, chatterbox. So she says, what do you do, Sandhya Lal, my chatterbox? And I said, ma'am, I am paid to talk. So made a career out of talking, and nobody could think that you could make a career out of talking and interacting with people. So I became a journalist. That's what my background was. And I became a wellness coach. I think all of us have that. We've all done something. We've all started with something. We're doing something else. So there is always a plan A. Then it goes to plan B, and it can be plan C, and it can be plan D. And which is why we have Udan, which is a fantastic program which teaches you about your career options that you have. Sometimes you're stuck because you don't know what you can do with that career. And Udan, I think, is one beautiful program for youngsters and children and even parents to understand the scope and the thing that you can do for children and the kind of programs and the kind of courses that children can do. Because it's not just engineering and, getting into, when I was hearing about the cutoff for arts, 99%, 98%, unheard of. Arts was something which was once upon a time children with 60% arts failure. Now 90%. So if a child is thinking of getting, you need an economist in the country. So you need to do economics. So these things are there. Um, Kashmira, how difficult is it to convince parents that your child is not good for engineering and should take up another career? Because as a career coach, I think when they come to you and you tell a parent that, listen, the parent has come to you and they want their child to get into engineering, and from your statistics or your whatever test that you do, you have realized that the child will suffer if the child gets into that career. How do you tell parents how to handle that, and how do you tell parents that? What do you tell parents?
Am I audible?
Yes, you are, absolutely.
Yes. So yes, apart from this mainstream careers, the offbeat careers are definitely challenging for parents to accept that my child has the potential and interest in this offbeat careers. So making the child and the parent understand is a little difficult, because many parents have that the child should go for engineering, government services, that UPSC and PSC exams. Then for this lawyer and all that kind of stuff. But when I say that she has a very good interest in her, design or architecture and or graphics, and this kind of careers are very good for this particular child. Oh, is it? Then why can't can she take engineering and then go to that? I said, why you want to spend 2 years in engineering, preparation exams and all that. And, what happened, because my students, because my classmates are appearing for JEE, then the amount of pressurization is more. No matter if you are not going to give for JEE, but still that FOMO has been created. And the children tend to give that exams also of JEE. And then what were their dream desire, that is left apart. That is left aside. And then, again that U-turn and all that starts. So
Correct.
I tell that just save your time, money and efforts in right direction.
Correct, because I think many times parents have this mindset कि artist बन के क्या बनोगे. So even when I wanted to, it's like a simple thing. I had a friend, I knew a boy, and he loved driving cars. So when he told his mother, I want to be a driver, and his mother was like, what are you going to do becoming a driver? But today, the same guy, he didn't complete his college, but he is test driving the best of cars coming into India, and he's writing about them. So he test drives and tells this is the car. So it's not that there is not a career. There are different careers available. It's just about choosing and having. And I think career counselors, before putting your child into a course or before putting your child into coaching classes, where you're going to invest money, because it's not cheap putting your children into engineering. Neither is it cheap. I think a minimum about 5 to 6 lakhs goes only in the coaching sector, and then another couple of lakhs goes into their course, because parents want the returns back. Now, when you're looking at a return back, if the child fails, and then the child is the fear that I have failed, I have not given my enough, I have wasted my parents' money. Sunita, how do you handle that? Because is that the fear that they face, that how will I go and face my parents and tell them, because they have put so much of money on me, they want me to do this. So how do you handle that situation? Because it's more of, I think it's also financial, because parents put a lot
Yeah.
of financial investment into the children, so they're expecting returns. So it's not like an FD that I put it and I'm going to get returns back, right? So investing in your children, I look at it as an investment when you're talking about monetary, because many a times you're coming from the background and you can't even afford it, and you're taking a home loan, and
Yeah.
you're taking you're mortgaging your house, you're working probably 3 shifts so that you can pay for that. What is the monetary aspect that one looks at when one goes into something like this? And does this also affect children or parents when they come to you and call you, Sunita?
Yeah. So the students are really burdened by what the parents talk to them. Like, we
Yeah.
have sacrificed so much. We are, there are many in the coaching hub that we spoke about. So there are many students from rural India who actually take admission into these for these coaching centers. And as we have been speaking, it costs around more than 4 lakhs a year. So what happens is, so many of them, they even sell their fields and everything. They sell everything and they are totally dependent on this child. And they are constantly burdening this child that you are our only hope. Everything depends on you. You have to crack it. There's no other option. So there, because of this burden, because of this thing, oh God, my parents have invested so much. So this is where, I mean, how can they study when they are under so much stress? That so much depends on my shoulders. How are they going to study? Now that day I had a very young girl. She just finished her 10th standard exam, and her dad was like, he took her to all these coaching centers. She wants to give NEET exam. She wants to become a doctor. And in front of her, her dad tells her, yes, now I have to spend 4 lakhs for you. So the main thing is her classes have not even started. And her first question to me is, ma'am, how can my dad is investing 4 lakhs, and what if I don't succeed? What if I don't crack it? How will I
Exactly.
face it? So this thing of,
Exactly.
ki I think ki jitna, like, they say ki jitna chaddar hai, utna hi pav phailao. Instead of like, selling everything and constantly, just pressurizing the child, ki yes, you have to do it. And there is no other option. This is the worst sentence, I think, to tell the child, ki there is no other option. You have to crack it anyhow. And your entire career, your entire life depends on this year. I think this is something that the parents have to be very, very aware of. In fact, what is the message that they have to give the child? Ki come what may, I'm there with you. You are
Exactly.
precious. Your life matters.
Exactly.
Correct.
Nothing is the
Exactly.
end of the world. So in fact, they have to be very mindful of using these statements where the child is going to feel, okay, theek hai, whatever happens, my parents' support is there with me. I'm still going to give my best. So they are going
Correct.
to do it with a very open open mind, and they're not going to be stressed while they are studying for it. So I think this monetary aspect, what the parents speak and what they should not speak, this is very, very important.
Absolutely. I think what you're saying is absolutely bang on. It's what parents are telling their children. Like I always tell in communication and parenting is that tell your child every day, no matter how angry you are, that you love them. And their life means more than anything
Mhm.
for to you than anything else. It's not the money, it is not anything, but it is their life which is more important because they could get their money back by working or whatever. They can't get their child back when the child is lost. And that's where the suicide happens because they somehow feel guilty. There's so much of societal pressure. There's so much of fear that how will I face my parents? How will I face my friends? I told them I want to do engineering. Now I cannot do it. They'll make fun of me. So I think like a psychological pressure that also builds into the mind, right? Uh, Swapna. So, which is why we have a show called Mind and Body, where it teaches you about meditation, yoga. We have this
Correct.
happening in deep parenting. And like I said, Carnival of Hope is a plethora and there are various programs. Guftagu is where we are discussing topics which are controversial and nobody wants to talk about. And we're trying to bring out the best in the topics and trying to get the experts to speak on these topics, and which is why we have Guftagu. And if there is a topic, my lovely audience, if you're there, if there's a topic that you want us to discuss, put it in the chat box. We will try and get experts on that for you because we have all our experts in deep parenting. So if you have a question, put it out in deep parenting and we can answer your questions. Uh, Coming back, we are running short of time.
Sandhya, can I share one experience?
Yes, we're
One,
coming,
yeah,
we're just
when I
coming to
was, yeah,
one second. We're going to be running short of time. So you can speak about your experience. But the other thing I would want you all to do right now is in a very as quick as you can, 3 tips that you would like to give parents plan B, how to handle the situation. First, Swapna ji.
yeah. First, accept that child is failing. That is not the end of the world for the child. There is life beyond IIT, beyond JEE, beyond NEET. Second is try to understand child's emotion. Bring him to the comfort zone and make him express his feelings, what he is feeling, nervous, sad, angry, frustrated, irritated, whatever are the emotions, let that child come out with his emotions. And the third thing is that always try to support your child. Whatever comes, there is something good God has kept for your child. So always give that assurance to your child that it's okay if you fail. There is something good, better option God must have kept for you. So we will try to explore it, but and with that the child comes into the comfort zone, and he it gives a sense of inclusion to the child that parents are with me and we are working as a team.
Absolutely.
So yes,
I think that's wonderful. You have to start looking at things in a very different way. Start being much happier with what you have. At the same
correct.
time, you can't say I give up just because my parents says it's okay to give up. So okay. There are some children who probably are capable because sometimes parents know that their child is capable of doing well, but just that the child
Correct.
is sometimes a little lazy. So you need to know when your child is capable of doing it and when your child is not, and how much to push. Because
Yeah.
sometimes children do get complacent, they have their addictions to their phones, they have their friends. Kashmira, 3 things that you would tell parents how to handle children. At the same time, because since you deal with parents on a one-to-one basis, how do you handle the situation? What are the 3 things would you tell parents?
First of all is acceptance. Accept the child the way the child is. Whatever intelligence the child has, then how well or how benefited you can or the child can be from that given intelligence. Don't look for other people, what are they doing and what are they not doing and all that. But we have to focus on our children and don't pressurize them. B, I would say for balance. There should be a balance between love and discipline. ऐसा नहीं कि मतलब हमने डिसिप्लिन का आचार डालोगे क्या? अगर वो बच्चे बच्चे को हमें देखना है या फिर वो डिसिप्लिन, व्हाट इज गोइंग टू मैटर? If you
Correct.
give a right amount of discipline, it should always be there, but more emphasis should be on love. And the third point I would say would be communication. How well you are communicating with your child. आपका communication आपके बच्चे के साथ एक open-ended communication होना चाहिए, where you are able to listen what the child is saying, what the child feels. और आपका communication एक positive communication होना चाहिए. There shouldn't be criticism or comparison with other children. what my relative is doing or what they will feel and what that, nothing.
Correct.
Because this is a long term, as you told that academics, whatever the career the child pursues is an investment. And if you want that return on investment, then first thing what we need to focus is on how well your family atmosphere is, how well the child's mental well-being is.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So here we should more, the parents should be very mindful.
Correct. So to know more about mindfulness, do watch our programs which are happening every day live on DPL, the Parenting Leave. Every day there is a new topic. So there's something that you want to learn, please. And these are live, even if you don't catch them live, the recordings are there, the previous episodes are there. Do catch them because there's so much of information for you. So make, like I always tell, make the parenting your new OTT platform instead of going and spending time on a Netflix, on any other OTT platform. Because there's so much to learn. There's so much to pick up, and there's so much to understand on parenting. Not just parenting, even as individuals, I think. Sunita, if I were to ask you three takeaways or three things that I would say that you tell parents should do, which will help build relationships with their children, and how they can at least come to know that their child is struggling.
Yeah. So my three messages are actually not for the parents, but it's for the society. Because
Okay.
we all are affected by this and we all are responsible also for this.
Absolutely.
So the first takeaway is just reduce the stigma around mental health issues. It's not a big thing. Mental health hai, issue hai, depression hai, go for help. There are so many counselors here, helplines here. I mean, even the students, the children can be encouraged that go and speak to your peers, go and speak to your elder siblings, your cousins, your uncle, aunt, anyone. The parents should be just happy कि okay, there is somebody that my child is connecting to and my child is sharing something. And अगर वो नहीं होता है, school counselors है, helplines है. In fact, they are going to share some numbers on this chat now, where the students, where the children or anybody can reach out to in case they're going through some distress. And last but not the least, of course, there are psychiatrists. So just approach mental health whenever possible. Because see, in so many suicide notes, it was written like, the child writes that I was depressed. I could not take it any longer. So the thing is, it is a cry for help. The suicide is nothing but a cry for help. And here they are writing that we are depressed, but they don't know where to go. They don't know which doors to knock. So this is one thing that we really need to reduce. And I think it is really working. Even yesterday, the talk that we had, we saw that even many Bollywood celebrities, they are opening up and they are sharing.
Absolutely.
So people are willing to open up. My second takeaway would be very, very important for parents is just don't glorify perfectionism. ये जो है topper है, he got full marks. Now in the 6th, 7th, yes, students will get full marks. They'll get 99 on 100, 100 on 100 in maths. And parents are very happy and they're only talking about their ranks and their grades and their marks. You know what, my son got 100. They are not focusing on the effort. So over here, instead of telling the child, okay, I'm very happy that you got 100 marks, they need to say, I'm very happy that you're putting in your best. You're putting in a lot of effort. Because what happens is now they are able to put in a lot of effort when they are at school level. But when they are in college or when they are in these competitive exams, as you said earlier, even if they are the cream of the students, but in an IIT college, they are going to come down. Their rank is going to fall. And then how do they take it? So therefore, we have to focus on this. No, it is not important to get full marks. It is important that you put in your full effort. I'll just give you an example. It's a very heartbreaking example to hear this. Okay, there was this student. He was a student of law. He was a student from Bombay, but he was studying in a Bangalore college. And he was a student of law. He was a topper. Even his parents are lawyers. He got a very good rank in the CLAT exam, the law entrance exam. And in his college, he stood first in the first trimester. Okay. But the second trimester, for some reason, his grades slipped, his rank fell, and he could not take it. And he just decided to end his life in a very sad way. He just jumped on the metro tracks of Bangalore. So the thing is, he was not able to take this, ki I'm no longer a topper. I lost my rank. I think this is very important, ki don't glorify perfectionism. It is okay not to be perfect. And the third most important message is for the students, for our young spectators out there, ki suicide is not an option. Because it is a permanent solution to a temporary problem. The problem is very temporary. Just hold on and you will find the answer. Suicide is not the solution. So
absolutely,
that's all that I have to say.
Wow, Sunita, I think the way you put it across the society, and that's like, I think if any of these parental coaches are watching this today, and if you're watching our program, I'm hoping that you guys will forward this to as many people as you can, because there is someone, everyone knows someone who's, taken their life. Everyone has some friend or someone in their school or someone who's, this, that this is happening. And the only way to bring about awareness is about uh, getting into wellness. It's about starting telling that, listen, I am capable of doing things and I love myself. We talk about manifestation. Oh, I will get into IIT. The manifestation. There's a whole lot of things that we keep telling that we should do. But manifest reality. Manifest things which, which you're capable of. Use professional help like coaches, career coaches. Even when you go to coaching, because not every coach or not every coaching school is going to tell you that, listen, you may not get admission, or because they want the money. For them, it is monetary. Someone's going to pay them 5 lakhs. You are just another figure for them. You're just another person putting money into their bank account. Okay. You got to realize that you're filling in their banks, but you may empty out your life savings and you may empty out your life. So are you really ready for that? And is your child really ready to give up the sacrifices? And I think wellness plays a very important role. From what I want to say today, I think wellness plays a very important role. And even if you're running a coaching class, give the child a break. What do you say about that? Don't they need a break? Thumbs up for that, guys. Can we get a thumbs up in the audience? If you like this program, let's share the love. Let's share some hearts and smileys if you guys are around, because we want to know that you're liking the show. Because the idea is that we want people to start opening up, telling their child, I love you, hug your child every day and say, hey, I'm there for you no matter what. Because that's very important. Talking about opening up, I'm going to tell you a story. I'm going to end it with that. At the age of 16, I'm a student who did art. I did science. And at the age of 16, I stood at a windowsill to end my life. And the only thing that stopped me from doing that's because I was doing BSc and I flunked BSc. And I said, that's the end. What am I going to do? It was not because my parents are angry, because I got the best of parents. I got the most coolest parents with whom I could go and party and disco and enjoy myself. But somewhere at the back of my mind, I felt I have done something wrong. Maybe I have neglected myself. But the one thing that stopped me from taking that leap for my 17th floor was my parents. Because my parents told me, if anything ever happens, just imagine what we would think if we saw your dead body. And because we had someone who had lost their child and this happened. So when they told me about this, they said, if it's not that they preempted something like that, but the very fact that I took a step back was because my parents told me that they love me. That's what came to my mind, that my parents love me, right? And I think that is very important. And today down the line, when I see, like, I've had cases, we've had students who have done different things. There was a child who used to draw bottles, and mother was like, "Kya karega ladka? Sirf bottle though, he's only drawing bottles day and night." Today, that boy is sitting in France and designing perfume bottles, right? Product designing. That is a course. There's like I told you about the driver. There was a kid who was only playing games. I don't want to do anything else. So today he's their children sitting in the US and debugging games. They're learning how to play these games. So it has been a wonderful session. Parents, please be aware. I must thank all my audiences that been wonderful. Thank you so much for coming. Share more love, share this program, share it with your friends. And thank you all for being with us, and keep watching, keep parenting, because there is so much more and we want to keep the hope alive. Thank you so much, Sunita, for joining us. Thank you so much, Kashmira, and thank you so much, Dr. Swapna.